Hashtag Trending would like to thank Meter for their support in bringing you this podcast. Meter delivers a complete networking stack, wired, wireless, and cellular in one integrated solution that's built for performance and scale. You can find them at meter.com/HTT. LinkedIn phishing scams hide in plain sight. AI data centers create memory chip shortages with big impacts on independent repair shops. DocuSign's Contract Advisor AI explains the fine print. And for those who think AI can't code, a non-programmer university student just built an operating system with AI in 2 weeks, and it works. Welcome to Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. I normally leave cybersecurity stories to our other podcast, Cybersecurity Today, but this one is so broadly applicable, I wanted to make sure it gets wide attention. Security researchers are warning about a phishing campaign spreading directly through comment threads on LinkedIn. Scammers are posting replies under legitimate posts that look like official LinkedIn notices, claiming your account has now been restricted and urging you to click a link to appeal. It's wrong, but it's not out of the ordinary. LinkedIn and other social media have messages that can warn you, for example, when your language may offend standards. So it's not a huge stretch to think you could be warned about your account being frozen. And again, even if you've done nothing wrong, it's not out of the question that automated moderation could make a mistake. And if you're like me and occasionally, let's just say, you express yourself frankly and directly, it's even more possible to believe. Except comments that tell you your account's been frozen and you need to click this link are fake. The link they give you leads to phishing pages designed to steal your credentials. Some even use LinkedIn's own LinkedIn short links, which makes them look even more convincing at a glance. But once you get to that page to appeal, it will try to phish you, and attackers can get access to your account, they can impersonate you, they can harvest your professional contacts, they can push the scam further into the network. And what makes this attack effective is that it happens out in the open, where people, and I've never thought I'd say this about social media, but actually trust what they're seeing, particularly on a forum like LinkedIn. It doesn't rely on malware or technical exploits. It relies on urgency, authority, habit, and our ability when we're feeling emotional to make bad choices about what we click on. LinkedIn has issued warnings about this, but it's not limited to LinkedIn. So any message, comment, or page on social media that sends you to a site asking for your credentials should be treated as hostile by default, no matter how perfect the page looks. With AI, cloning a login page that looks identical to LinkedIn or any other company is trivial. Attackers can make even the URLs look legitimate. So if there's a real problem with your account, the rule is simple. Log out, close the tab, open a new browser window, type the correct site address yourself calmly, like linkedin.com, log in normally, and go about your business. If your account ever does get frozen, you're in for a mountain of hurt and a complex recovery. So until that happens, all you can do to prevent it is act responsibly. And if you do see a warning about your language or conduct, ask yourself if there's not a better way to express yourself. But never click a link. I hope I'm not preaching, but if you already know this, tell somebody else who doesn't. We've been doing a lot of stories about how the AI industry is buying up so many chips that there are shortages of basic items like memory chips. But to put it in perspective, according to a report from Tom's Hardware, data centers are expected to consume about 70% of all memory chips produced globally in 2026. That includes DRAM and high-bandwidth memory used to feed modern AI accelerators. Now, the reason is straightforward. Training and running large AI models is extremely memory intensive, and cloud providers are buying everything they can secure. Memory manufacturing can't be scaled up quickly, so the shortage is expected to spill into other markets where the margins aren't as great, including PCs, laptops, and even, it turns out, refurbished hardware. Now, we've all been warned about the fact that this will lead to higher costs for business and consumer electronics, but we don't often think about how it has an impact on the whole supply chain and potentially has a huge environmental impact as well. A system refurbisher that I follow on YouTube, who buys used corporate PCs, described how recovery companies are now stripping the RAM and other storage from otherwise functional machines and then scrapping the rest. He said, in terms of recovery, the economics no longer work. To quote him, "My goal was always to fight the disposable tech trend by flooding the market with reliable, repairable, used business-class laptops. But because of the devastating surge in RAM and storage prices driven by AI demand, that mission has become impossible," he said. "Most of my suppliers are now stripping out the RAM and the NVMe drives to sell them separately because they're worth more than the laptops themselves." And that's how supply chain pressure turns into real-world waste. Perfectly usable computers with one piece taken out are left for landfill, refurbished systems get scarcer, and prices rise quietly for anyone who's just trying to extend the life of existing hardware. The AI build-out isn't abstract. When data centers absorb most of the world's memory supply, the ripple effects reach well beyond cloud computing, right down to what ends up in the recycling bin. We've covered plenty of stories about AI going wrong in legal settings, hallucinated case law, fake citations, and bad filings. And as a result, you might be a little skeptical when you hear that DocuSign has unveiled a new AI-powered feature designed specifically to help users understand contracts before they sign them. But it might be worth taking another look. According to what I've been reading, the system is trained on contract language, and it's meant to summarize, explain, and highlight key clauses in plain language, not invent legal arguments or act as a lawyer. And that distinction matters. This isn't a general-purpose chatbot being asked to interpret law or find case studies. It's a narrowly scoped tool trained for a single task, helping people understand what is actually in front of them. That makes accuracy far more achievable than in open-ended legal research or drafting. And AI, particularly the recent models and specialized models in particular, are pretty good at expert tasks like this. And there's an uncomfortable truth here. Most people don't read contracts well, and license agreements or other boilerplate, not at all. They scroll, click, and hope for the best. So even a careful AI-generated explanation of key terms, risks, and obligations is almost certainly better than blind acceptance, especially for everyday agreements where hiring a lawyer isn't realistic. This doesn't substitute for legal advice, and DocuSign isn't claiming that it does. But it does reflect a more mature direction for AI, purpose-built, constrained, and designed to explain real-world risks rather than create new ones. If this strategy works as advertised, it won't replace lawyers. It may just replace the most common legal strategy of all, not reading the contract. And finally, here's a story that cuts straight through the claim that AI can't really code. According to a story in the blog My Broadband, a university student with no formal background as a systems programmer used AI tools to build an entire operating system from scratch, not an app, not a script, an entire working OS. And if you've ever played around with that type of code, this is a substantial challenge. And yes, the result is rough around the edges. Some parts are clunky. I wouldn't trust its security. But it is a working operating system with a lot of functionality attached, and it works. And once again, the student, a bright guy but a non-programmer, relied on Anthropic's Claude AI to generate low-level code, explain concepts like memory management and scheduling, and iteratively fix problems as they came up. This wasn't copy and paste. It was guided construction. Interesting, though, he also came up with some techniques that are worth considering for all of us. For those who have been frustrated when you find that AI hits an error and then it also hits a wall. It keeps making the same mistake over and over again, and there's nothing you can do about it. He found some things that worked for him. First of all, and this is pretty classic, he used another model, in this case Gemini, to find the bug that Claude had missed and explain it back to the Claude model he was using. A couple of other things he did, which were interesting. He claims that motivating the AI got him great results. He showed the AI model examples of bad code and, wait for it, he said, "I know you can do better." Now, before you dismiss this out of hand, remember, not too many months ago, it was Google's co-founder Sergey Brin who was saying that threatening your AI model made it more accurate, and others have said that emotional responses made for more accurate results. There's been very little proof on this, but this guy claims he got results. Now, critics will be quick to say his operating system isn't elegant or that a professional engineer could do it better, but this misses the point. There's an old joke about a circus bear that dances poorly, and when someone complains about the quality of the dancing, the ringmaster's response is, "That's not the amazing part. What's amazing is that the bear dances at all." And that's the moment we're in with AI and coding. A smart person, but non-programmer, was able to build something that used to require years of specialized training. Not perfectly, not optimally, but successfully. Now, this doesn't mean that software engineers are obsolete, but it does mean the floor for what a motivated individual can build has moved dramatically. And dismissing that because the output isn't pristine is starting to look like denial, not analysis. And I know you can do better than that. And that's our show. Once again, we'd like to thank Meter for their support in bringing you the podcast. Meter delivers full-stack networking infrastructure, wired, wireless, and cellular to leading enterprises. Working with their partners, Meter designs, deploys, and manages everything required to get performant, reliable, and secure connectivity in a space. They design the hardware, the firmware, they build the software, they manage deployments, and they run support. It's a single, integrated solution that scales from branch offices, warehouses, to large campuses and data centers. Book a demo at meter.com/HTT. That's meter.com/HTT. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a terrific Tuesday.